It's like you gotta like put in like a plastic screw and then put a metal screw.
Oh yeah, you have to have the anchor.
Yeah.
That goes in the wall that you nail into the wall or you hammer into the wall, and
No,
then you do.
it's tough. Some of them like you could just like do it with a screwdriver.
Because you're talking like
some of them you have to drill.
Because like what I'm thinking is where you pre-drill and then you put in the anchor and then drill the screw into the anchor.
Okay, yes, you could pre-drill as well.
Yeah.
That's what I did for the ones downstairs in my old room.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah, that one was far because my walls, dude, they're so fucking hard.
Yeah? I'm sure, bro. But yeah, I haven't messed with them. They've just been sitting on the floor the whole time that Katie and I have been in our apartment. So
Yeah.
I don't really mess with
before
it.
we actually really start.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I just like having, like, if we start 5 minutes early, then it's not like we just turn it on and it's like, hey, you know, it's like, okay, let's get started.
You're
or
right,
something,
you're right.
It's like you go to like a lecture or something, you sit around for a few minutes before you start class or whatever.
Oh, well, yeah,
I
for sure.
guess.
Yeah, I can definitely get what you're saying.
But yeah, I was gonna say like along the same lines, like we need to make a time. I don't know when I have available soon, at least like.
So I'll just tell you mine because it's super simple. 8 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Oh, that's just your schedule period. Yeah. Cause yeah, we need to take time to just like figure out
Sit down.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk plans and whatnot.
Exactly. No, I agree.
But.
For sure. No, like, and then like I do kind of want to set up like for next week, like a light like in front of us rather than
better lighting or something.
Yeah, I do want to figure. Maybe I can get like a.
We can get some cheap lights or like Menards or something.
Yeah, or maybe like a shade to where it's like a circular shade and it like directs light at us instead of.
Well, because from what I understand,
like a flasher thing.
Yeah, you want soft light. You want because those are like light boxes, right? That,
yeah.
It's not direct light on you. It's being diffused by the shade, the
yeah.
lampshade. So I mean, that's what I understand from
yeah.
geography is you want warm or not warm, but you want white, diffused light.
Yes.
I don't know.
Something
we
like
have
that.
learning to do.
Oh shit! What's up, Beth? No, we're just shooting the shit before we start the actual podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up? What's going on? How was your day, Beth? We're just kind of chilling until 8 because that's when it starts. This is my buddy Zach, by the way.
What's up, Beth?
He's pretty sick. Yeah. I had a good day. That's good. I'm really happy for you.
Where'd you meet Beth?
Online.
Online friends, bro.
Yeah.
What up, Beth?
They're the best.
You are enthusiastic.
Oh, she's great, dude. she's great.
Hell yeah. Gotta love it.
When I went to Indiana.
Oh yeah.
I met Justin there. Like he was like one of my, if not like the first PC friend that I made besides Aiden.
Sick.
Yeah. So I flew out to Indiana and said, "What's up?" A good time, honestly.
Yeah, I remember seeing you. You like surprise your friends.
Yeah.
Flying out there.
Dude, it's fun.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
For sure. That's like some shit you see in some like random YouTube video where it's like, I flew out and surprised these guys.
Yeah,
like friends meeting first time or whatever.
The TikToks that get like 1 million views. Yeah. Like, why didn't I do that?
Dude, where were you at, bro?
I do have the videos. I could just put them together.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
I did film like the whole thing of me getting there.
Yeah. Thanks, Beth.
Oh, I gotta move this.
I got him a little website's called iBuy Direct. You can get really cheap glasses frames. They got stylish stuff. You know, they're a little quirky and whatnot. Right, these are quirky frames, right? That's like TikTok.
Oh, those are for sure quirky frames. No, we're not sponsored. We're not allowed to say that we're sponsored.
Yeah. Sorry, not sponsored by iBuy Direct or Bubbly. Or
any beer
Lucky Bucket that we drink. Yeah. Nothing.
It's 8.
It is 8.
Yes.
It's officially time to get moving,
yes,
I think.
I'm so excited.
Beth, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Wander, Lumpcast, every other thing we've ever called it before.
Yeah.
You know.
Every episode, starting now, we light the candle.
Yeah, I gotta light the candle prior to commencing today's event.
Ow!
Dude, you suck.
Because I try to do it cool with my fucking index finger.
Well, don't. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be cool, Christian.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, Woodwick. It's going.
I know, it's a Woodwick.
It's going.
Okay, Zach, if you would take
right.
the candle.
Candle has been lit. I'm gonna...
Dude, it's fine.
I just, better safe than sorry.
Oh, shit.
Hey! I don't have anything to wipe it off on.
I got my sketchbook.
What scent candle? She called you a freak, dude. It's rose and cedar. Cam, what up? About time, dude. We were ahead of time.
Yeah,
we were 5 minutes early, bro.
Woo, baby. All right, let's get into it. I'm
Yeah.
fucking hyped for this one, dude.
I think it's gonna be a good time. We got some
It
interesting
is.
topics.
Oh, for sure. If you watched last week or if you've seen anything, Beth, thank you. I'm going right into that. We are talking about true self.
We're talking about true self. Christian, I texted Christian earlier. I said, dude, what are you wanting to talk about, or what are we gonna focus on today? Let's figure out something to talk about. And he said true self. And
I also said it last week.
well, yeah, but then I forgot and I had to ask you again. So whatever. But so yeah, Christian, elaborate. What is true self, dude? What do you think about, or what do you mean by true self?
No, I was really thinking about it when we were talking before we started.
Yeah.
And I completely lost it.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
being
let's go
honest.
ahead and try and recapture that.
Yeah, so I believe true self is when you're just kind of aligned, It's like everything is not perfect, but like you're content. Like you're just there. You're just present. I always talk about present, but I'm just saying.
So you're saying to you true self is like being very immediate?
Not exactly.
Like, sorry.
I'm saying like. That's it.
This thing
isn't
is
it?
popping off, bro.
No, true self is like. I like to say aligned because everything is just like. Not intertwined, but it's the clockwork. There we go.
Okay.
It's clockwork. Everything is running smoothly with you. It's like. No ego is there. You're not, projecting to be somebody else. It's who you really are. And once you kind of find your true self and you start to get those, gears spinning,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're clear.
Okay, so like, basically, it's like, for you, it's about not having any kind of like insecurities about like the way you're behaving, the way you are.
Yeah.
You're just like, this is who I am, this is what it is, and you're not worried about what people think about that,
Fuck no.
and you just go for it.
Exactly.
All right, and things just work out.
I mean, not exactly work out,
Okay.
but I mean, like, you're on the path,
Okay. So where does that come from?
What do you mean, where does it come from?
I mean, like, how do you
How do you
manifest
obtain it?
that? Yeah, how do you manifest that in yourself? Is it just like a matter of just like
You don't really know until you find it.
so there's not, you wouldn't have any way of like suggesting like maybe if you practice this certain like lifestyle or like do this thing you might be able to better attain that?
Okay, I mean, the whole, like, not caring what people think about you, that's a piece of the waffle. That's
Right,
cut
no,
out,
yeah, I totally get that.
So, like,
it's a whole
it's all
thing.
about you.
Yeah, it's just it's confidence and security and just like being
Exactly.
who you are
It's-
without being worried about whether or not the person you are is what people want you to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I get that, but I guess I don't know. I didn't know if you like had any thoughts about like how a person might be able to do that.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's the whole, like, it's. I want to say something crazy, but I'm not, cause I don't know. But how I believe I have found my true self.
Okay.
I believe it. And it's just like taking the path of, just doing whatever. You're not scared of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You're just, you notice them and you kind of turn them into, dude,
You're struggling for words, man.
because it's so crazy.
I mean, no, like the thing is like I agree. I'm not saying I disagree, and I'm not trying to like play devil's advocate to like make you
you're
question.
grinding my ass, dude.
But like, I'm not trying to like make you feel like your idea is wrong, but I'm just like, for me, I feel like it's one thing to say like, well, this is what it is to be your true self, right? But it's like people are gonna want to know like, okay, well, how do you do that? And it's one like to say like, well, you don't know until you're there is like, well,
Exactly. How do you get there?
right?
Yeah,
It just sounds
right.
kind of like shitty, I guess. I don't know.
But like, I don't know, like, cause you could find your true self a different way that somebody else finds their true self.
Yeah.
Like whether it's obtaining something you've been, like achieving, like,
Well, I guess do we need to distinguish between like what it is?
Well,
like, because when you're talking like to me, what you're saying right now, you saying true self right now is synonymous with like independent success, like your idea of success in a way.
Okay.
Right, you're kind of like making that analogy in a way.
Definitely.
So I mean, like maybe like true self can be broken down into like obviously like individual success and like individual goals and stuff, and then also into like the spiritual aspect of it, right? Because like when you like what you started out with, right? This idea of like just being comfortable in your own skin and not worried about what people think about that. To me, that's very spiritual, right? It's just very much like, you know what, you learned to be okay with who you are, your flaws, and your good things about you, and that's just who you are. And to me, there's something very spiritual about that, right? Something very self.
And I think that's kind of how I wish I would have explained it. As a spiritual kind of thing, but the whole me mentioning like taking a spiritual way to achieve something is like that's one thing that like I don't want to like just throw out there because people probably think it's bullshit sometimes.
Yeah, I mean I get that.
But then that's the whole thing of not caring, which it's whatever.
Right.
But it is really, I mean, I guess spiritual because everyone is kind of on their own path and finding,
Yeah, because everybody, has spirituality of some form, right?
It's whether they notice it or not.
Maybe. I don't know if it's necessarily, like, some people who just are ignorant to their own spirituality, but rather, like... Because I think when you say spirituality, I think the first thing people tend to think about is, like, religion, right? Some sort of religious aspect. Or, like... Actually, I guess I would say faith is more religious and spirituality. The first thing I think about when I think of spirituality, I think of Buddhism first. Because Buddhism, yes, is a religion... But it's more of a way of life and a guide for living in the world in a way that helps you, like you said, get rid of that ego and live at a higher plane.
Exactly.
But I still think it's valid to say that like there is a spiritual path to being your true self, as well as a more material or, achievement based true self, right?
Yes.
Like, because like feeling fulfilled with your life, right? Satisfied with your life when you die, that's part of true self, right?
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah.
We haven't died yet, so we don't know. But
yeah. Okay. I can see that.
I guess I would argue that there are maybe two paths that are part of the same journey. I guess.
Okay. It's the spiritual side of things, and it's more the physical side of success as well.
Right. Maybe those, like, I guess the argument then, maybe is, are both sides required for true self, or are they both optional paths in a way? You know what I mean?
I don't think you could have one without the other.
Think so?
No, you're right. Yeah, no, I thought about that.
I don't know. Like,
well, because the way I was thinking of it, like, independent success is like, you're comfortable in life, like, you're happy with where you're at.
Yeah, which is entirely subjective, like we talked about last
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
No, for sure. But then, like, if you're not happy in your life, and it's hard to find that spiritual way, in a sense, for some people maybe. Yeah. So maybe it is kind of, you can't have one without the other for some people. But, maybe if they are struggling in life, they just move on quicker.
Well, when you said, like, people who are struggling, the first thing I thought about is, like, a lot of times people who are in a time of stress or need or crisis seek that spiritual comfort, right?
Of course.
So, I almost actually want to agree with you in the sense that maybe it's not one without the other, but a give and take, right? Because that leads me back to Buddhism, where the whole thing in Buddhism, Buddha wasn't all about, like, live as an ascetic, or whatever, I think it's ascetic, like, in poverty, right? He wasn't like, live in poverty, have nothing, and only live as you are without material needs. His whole thing was literally live the middle path, which is like, don't live in excess either way. Don't live in excess as far as like too many things, and don't live in excess of too little things, right? Don't be extreme on either end. It's be the middle path, be comfortable with your materials, be comfortable with the things you want to own and hold and obtain without being greedy or gluttonous, right?
Yeah.
And spiritually, like, he's not like devote every minute of your life to spirituality. He's like, just be aware and conscious of that.
Aware, yes.
You know, and don't lose that part of your life, right? So
For
like
sure.
I think that teaching or that wisdom kind of leads me back to want to agree with you actually on the fact that like maybe it is together in a way, you know, because then when I think about like people who are living in excess, I would assume those people they feel like they are missing something, you know what I mean?
And that's what I was gonna bring up is, you know, do you see like all these like, I mean, famous and rich people, you know, that are, you know, or like people, I guess, not scamming, but like, you know, definitely not in it for the people. They're in it for themselves, as in like, let's say like YouTube content. I love using this example.
I know, because you get so salty about it, bro.
Well, because it's, I mean.
I know it's true. No,
exactly.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I just think you get salty about it. Like,
I do.
Understandable.
Exactly. But like the people, you know, that are just doing it for the money and, you know, not for the content, it's like.
Right. Or they lose sight of the content for the money.
Exactly. And I think that's when they start going towards the right path, or not I'm saying like
right, it is in direction.
Yes,
right? The right direction being material,
yes.
the left being spiritual.
Yes, okay,
right?
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's what they kind of miss when people take that directional right road.
Right.
So.
I get that. I mean, yeah, for sure. I think, you know, materialism and stuff like that definitely coincides. I think with the lack of spirituality, right, or at least a lack of like spiritual awareness. And like again, the spirituality is so different from every person. Like spirituality can be like you lost God and like now you live in greed and stuff like that. You live in sin, right?
Yep.
Or it could be so much as like you just lost that human connection. That's spirituality, right? This idea that like we're all kind of connected on some sort of wavelength.
Yeah.
And you just lose side of that connection, right? And now you're focused on materials and stuff more than the people.
Yeah.
You know.
See, I think that's honestly an awesome way to put it.
Right.
How you just explained it right there.
Yeah.
I think that kind of put the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I really do like the Buddha aspect. I have been watching a lot of Buddha like.
Bro, I've been fucking with Buddha
YouTube.
since like 7th grade.
Exactly. No,
so
you have.
hard, dude.
I can attest to that. But no, like of course, like you know, I'll be under the influence and I'll watch like cool like Buddhist videos or like space videos or like you know just a random subject.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a lot of like, not really Buddhist ones, but like religions like Buddhism.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think.
And I think it's a great practice.
Yeah, you'll find, I mean, you look at any religion, meditation, right? Meditation is typically associated with Buddhism.
Yep.
Right? But meditation is found in every religion.
Oh,
meditation
like prayer,
over texts,
you know.
prayer. Yeah, meditation just in some religions even consider like education a form of meditation, right? Spending your time learning is a form of like independent meditation.
And I think that's what I really like.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard for me to like, I don't know, like just sit there and just in silence, I guess. Because I do just have like crazy thoughts just going in my head all the time. So like when I do kind of like just kind of sit back, you know, I'm not a good like visual learner, like as in like a sense of sitting down and like reading. Yeah. But like a visual like YouTube or like, you know, documentaries, like I love just
or like
absorbing.
face-to-face learning.
Yeah, dude,
like
I just love absorbing new information. And I think that has really also helped me like kind of center exactly, because it is I honestly I love that. Like I've never heard of that before, so honestly I want to talk about it. So
and I mean like when I first was on here, you know, I talked about how like when you're really trying to figure your shit out, like journaling is so huge. Yeah. But that's like for me when I journal all the time, and for me it's because it's just it is the exact same thing you do with meditation, right? It's just channel a different way. Like meditation typically is like you let the thoughts pass, right? You recognize them, acknowledge them, and just let them go, right? Because you're trying to just clear yourself and like really have, you're not. I think it's a misconception that meditation is about being thoughtless. It's just more about not being, you know, distracted and attached to a thought, right?
Exactly.
So when I'm journaling, like that's all I'm doing. I'm just doing free flow, you know, stream of consciousness, where it is like everything that flies in my mind is bothering me or like, you know, distracting me goes out my hand in the pen into the paper.
And it's kind of like leaving that.
Yeah. It's definitely like, you visualize that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because I think visualization is a really powerful form of getting over something, right? Or like releasing something, right?
No, I really do love that. And I guess before I kind of go more into that, I just want to explain my scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I'm laying in bed, it's, pitch black. Of course, the brain races the most right before you go to bed.
Right.
So what I've been doing for like the past 6 months when I really started getting into kind of the spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Is I will kind of imagine a black cat, come and lay on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like I'm secure, I guess.
Yeah.
And then his eyes are just images, and then they come out, and then they circle the room.
Okay.
The pitch dark room that I'm in.
Yeah,
so it's just all my thoughts rotating.
Okay.
And I fall asleep right away.
Yeah.
Because I'm recognizing those thoughts and I'm just letting them flow through.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean obviously the method and the imagery that you've chosen is very particular to you.
Yes.
Right?
Of course, yes.
But it's the same thing as when I think we were in high school and I heard about this, but somebody had talked about how the same kind of visualization technique where you take all the thoughts that are intrusive or distracting and stuff, and you imagine them being stuffed into a box, and you kick that box away, right?
Yeah.
So it's all being contained and then just thrown out. Right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's whatever you find is most successful.
Yeah.
You're gonna do.
For sure.
But no, going back on the whole, a form of learning or journaling is a form of meditation.
Yeah.
Anybody can find that. They could find that
their own method.
Their own method,
Mm-hmm.
and if they kind of, I guess, manifest it in that way of, this is a form of meditation.
Yeah.
I think they could really achieve something greater.
No, yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely something really transformative about practicing meditation in some way or another. I think it's like a trend. Because we talk about YouTube all the time, it's a trend on YouTube for people to be like, I meditated for 7 days. This is how my life changed.
That's clickbait, baby.
No, yeah, partly because it's clickbait, but partly because it is obviously it's a trend, right? People want to be on a trend and get attention, right? But also because trends come from things that have worked.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's
and that goes back to the
because
whole.
they become popular because somebody popular or famous did something that works, right? And made it well known.
And that's the whole going back to you remember when we talked about open-mindedness is going to be the new practice, running. So people that find stuff that works.
Oh yeah.
Of course they're going to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's about personalizing your experience because you're not going to do something you don't like to do.
No.
Right? Nobody's ever going to do that. If you try to pick up yoga and you're like, fuck, I hate yoga, but I want to be flexible. Sorry. But I want to be flexible. Stop doing yoga if you hate yoga. Just start doing stretching or something.
Dude,
or if it's I hate running but I need to do cardio, okay, swim. If you want to do something different, we keep using, athletic or physical examples, but that's just what we're familiar with.
Well, I mean, that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah. But yeah, totally. If you're trying to find or utilize methods of self-discovery or transformation, you definitely have to make it about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how anything works, really. What's the point in reading a book you don't want to read? You just get rid of it.
Oh, fuck, that reminds me. I have to give you that fucking book.
I just thought about that.
Every time you leave, I'm like, fuck, this book is still here.
No, yeah, that's okay.
I didn't like that book.
It's really slow in the beginning, I'll be honest. But it's
Yeah.
really good. The twists are crazy. But anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's if you don't want to read this book, if you're trying to read it because somebody told you it's good and you hate it, then stop reading. You're not going to like it. Just because you spent 500 pages reading it and you got another 500 to go, it doesn't mean it's worth reading 500 more pages to be disappointed even more. Same thing with, I tried painting and it's fuck, painting is boring.
Yeah, painting.
Or something,
Yeah.
it's that's hobbies, it's using the example of hobbies to illustrate, these other methods of meditation or whatever,
Sorry, I wasn't trying to. I was listening.
No,
I was sending the podcast to somebody.
Oh, that's cool.
So sick. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine.
What else?
Well, I was thinking about trying to tie back this meditation thing to true self because that's kind of what we're big talking about right now.
Well, it is. It really is because how we said we recognize those thoughts. recognize those bad thoughts.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know, in that meditation kind of state, you know, and you'll kind of, I mean, I'm not going to guarantee you'll realize something, but it'll for sure help.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely it's definitely steps, right? Everything is like, steps towards some kind of change, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like we talked about, if you take that time to interact with yourself on a deeper level, you're going to realize things about yourself that you just don't recognize when you're so distracted by the outside world.
Exactly.
You're not going to recognize, like, oh, hey, this is something like with Logan, right? My younger brother.
Yep. Crackhead.
Yeah. No, he's not a crackhead. He's crazy.
Yeah, okay. He's not actually a crackhead. He's just crackhead energy.
Right, yeah. But, like, I mean, he's in there's this time of his life where a lot of changes are happening. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he graduated and he's still trying to figure out, like, where he's going to go to school
mm-hmm.
and what jobs he wants to do. He doesn't know what he wants his path to be, And I've tried telling him, like, dude, literally take some time. Stop playing video games.
Yep.
All the fucking time.
Yep.
Take some time that you would spend playing video games and just think about, what do I like to do, right? I've like a big thing like that has helped me kind of figure out where I want to go, right? Because I mean, up until literally this semester of college, I've been just going whatever direction sounds interesting, right? I started with psychology, then I went to geography, then I went to some,
You did geography?
Like I did a few classes of geography, thinking I wanted to do something with geography, and I was like, okay, this is stupid, It's interesting, don't get me wrong,
sure.
but it's just not my life path.
Exactly.
But in learning to journal and in learning to stop and just talk with myself and figure myself out, literally within like just a few journal sessions and conversations, I started to get an idea of like, oh, this is the direction I actually want to go. I realized, in high school I had a lot of fun doing languages, right? I've always enjoyed English. Obviously, I've been a great writer.
Mm-hmm.
I've always just been able to do really well in writing and reading-based classes and stuff. As I thought about that, these are things I've already known, right? These are things I've known and I've experienced, but I don't recognize it and think about it because I don't give myself the time to figure those things out. So it's when I finally sat down, I was like, what the hell am I even doing, right? The first question I asked is like, what do I like to do? What in my past experiences have I done as a part of like a job or some kind of volunteership or something? Was I like, I really enjoyed that experience? And the first thing that came to my mind was like when I was in language classes and helping other people understand a text or how to formulate something or how to write something properly or like, and so I was like, oh shit, I like teaching. I like language. Holy fuck, I can teach language, which kind of draws me, like, I did this, like, mind map thing, and something I wrote about was we as a society, and I'm going to say America in general because I think Americans are so used to having everything at their fingertips all the time, right? Yep. Whether it's information, opportunity, etc. But we have this illusion, I think, and like I mentioned, Jordan Peterson, this kind of ties into that from when we were talking before we started. But there's this illusion that having more opportunities, more chances, more things we can do, we think for some reason that equals freedom, right? That equals liberty. Which, yes, choice is liberty, right? Yes. Having freedom of choice is liberty. But it's actually it's actually a trap, right? This idea that like if you have too many choices, you're not going to pick any of them because you're afraid they're not all going to be worth it, or you're not going to be able to do them all, right?
Yeah.
And so I was writing about how there's actually freedom in limitation, right? There's power and opportunity in limitation. And so that's the thing, like prior to my reflection and like my figuring out what I want to do and the path I want to follow, and God, like who knows? Maybe it's like, I've been studying, I'm going to study linguistics and English, and I'm going to, I want to teach language. And maybe that's the path I'm looking at right now. Maybe that changes in 2 years, whatever. But the fact that I've chosen something, right? That I've decided, like, I could teach anthropology, language, English, history, or go into sciences randomly, right? I could do those things, right? And I could waste my time trying to do all those things because I'm afraid to choose something. Or I can say, you know what? I have skills here, and I have experience with this, and I enjoy this, and I'm just going to pick one thing and be okay with the fact that I'm not going to be able to do anything else or everything else, right? There's freedom in that. Because once you finally decide, like, I am going to do this, this is the one thing I'm going to focus on, I'm going to put my energy into this, right? You're no longer putting your energy in multiple directions with little result. You're putting all of your energy into one direction with a lot of results, right?
Yeah, and you found all this journaling.
Yeah, like I said, like for me it was journaling, right? For other people it's
So how do you feel?
Traditional meditation.
So how do you feel after you made all of these like?
I mean, yeah, so yeah, like tying back to like the spiritual thing, it's definitely I feel more confident, right? I feel
everybody should fucking journal, baby.
Yeah.
No.
It's confidence for sure.
Yeah.
And I think like I can't explain to you how like difficult it is, right, to be going to college, going to school without a direction you're going to, right?
Yeah, because you're so overwhelmed.
Because you're like, I'm going and I'm studying 1,000 different things. None of them seem to have any application. None of them seem to be going in any direction. And I'm just in the middle of it like a bozo, right? But then when you finally figure out, like, no, this is the direction I want to go. That is the career I want to have, the life I want to lead. Because that's the thing. Once you figure out the direction you want to go, right? Once I figured out that I want to be an educator, right? I want to teach language at a higher education level, at the collegiate level, right? I now have a path to follow as far as my education, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know the classes I need to take, the skills I need to obtain, volunteering, and jobs I need to have experience in to do that well, right? So now I have a path occupationally,
Yep.
right, to follow. So I'm confident in my occupation, right? Financially, I have an idea of what I'm going to be making. So now I can think, okay, in this many years, I'll be able to have this if I wish, right? If I want to have a house at 30, I can do that because I'll be making enough money for that or something, right? Whatever the job is. Or if my value is if I want to travel, I'll finally be able to afford to travel because I'll have this occupation. I'll be able to teach online and work abroad and have that kind of flexibility. You know, so you have the occupational freedom, and now it applies to your financial freedom because now you can plan financially with an idea of where you're going.
And that's just all on goals too.
Right. These are goals and things like that. And it just stems from, for me right now, obviously we're talking occupation, but you can do journaling and figure out spiritually, what are your goals spiritually? If you're like, you know what, I'm really connected to nature spiritually, I need to go to the Amazon rainforest, right? To feel like I've really connected with like the epitome of nature or something. You know what I mean? You make that goal, you have that goal, now you figure out, okay, how do I get there, right? But the point is that you figured out the values that relate to your identity and who you are, right? Your true self, you're figuring that out and you're applying them to your life in a positive way.
Dude, I do really love that. I'm going to have you sign a contract for how much talk time you get.
Yeah, Zach gets 15 minutes straight, one time in the podcast. Yeah, I talk a lot.
No, everything you... fuck yeah, you got the bottle opener?
Yeah.
Everything you talked about, I fucking love because my experience is the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like with... You know, like, obviously when Advance first started, I was like, okay, this is fucking, like, I'm going to have fun with graphic design. You know, like, it's going to be, you know, fun.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, it wasn't going anywhere because I wasn't, like, it's just another thing.
It's a project you're doing.
It's a project, you know? And once I kind of, like, sat down, figured it out, and kind of, you know, I started getting really good at it, I was like, damn. I fucking really like this. Like, I want, like, now, like, I'm going to go to school for graphic design. Yeah. Shit like that. Like, I have, shout out Katie, because she's the one who looked at the schools for me. Yeah. No, dude, it for sure helps. Like, you're not scrambled, you know, thinking about what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're not scatterbrained.
It's a path, you know, and you got to take that middle road. Mm-hmm. And it really, I do really like that kind of analogy.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because you and I kind of had a different way about it, right? Mm-hmm. And that's like we talked about this. I think the first episode that I was on here, how like I really admire you because you do that thing where you're just like, I'm gonna try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, whatever. This podcast is an example of that where you're like, you know what, I have the materials to do a podcast. Why not try it out? See what it's like. Turns out it's fun, and now we're doing it together, right?
Exactly.
And like I said, I admire you because you just do those things. And so for you, your method that you kind of ended up doing was like, I'm just going to try this graphic design thing. It seems like a cool thing. Maybe I could get into it. It's just going to be kind of a fun hobby to do. And you're like, you know what? This is really cool. I enjoy doing this. And you decided to build your life in that direction, right?
Yeah.
And some people are very lucky where they find out, say they do art as a child and they're encouraged as a child. That's a huge thing. is encouragement as a young adult or as a young child in a field, right? Because a lot of people don't get that, right? Children who are good at art or good at math or good at something, you know, I wouldn't say it's very common for young children to get the kind of encouragement they need to have that drive and desire to do that thing persist into their adult lives.
Yeah,
right?
and
like when I was a kid, like I liked art, but I don't really do art anymore. Not because like I was shamed or shunned by my family for doing art, but because like the family that I have just didn't give the necessary amount of encouragement regarding art for me to feel like that's a worthwhile career pursuing, right?
Yeah.
So some people are really lucky where they're young and they pursue art, or they are really good at math and their family's like, no, you need to do math. Like, do this. Like, persist this. Or, like, they buy them science, biology books and shit, and they're like, study this. We want you to do this because we like that you're good at it. We want you to feel confident in that, right? Not everybody gets that. So, as an adult, it's your responsibility to then do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what you're doing, right?
Yeah. But, like, yeah, I really like what you said because my family was the same way. Like, I would, you know, family events, like, I was younger, like, oh, Christian, you should be a lawyer.
Yeah,
Christian,
yeah.
You should be a doctor.
Yeah, I vividly remember a night at my grandparents or my aunts were like, he's going to be a doctor, the president, or, you know, something. And it's like,
yeah.
yo,
dude,
what?
chill.
Yeah, I'm 8.
I'm 8 years old, dude.
Hell yeah.
No,
For sure.
No, and it's like, they buy you all this shit. Like, I remember my aunt one time bought me, like, these memory sticks.
Yeah.
They're like, the guy who invented these is like has one of the highest IQs in the world.
Yeah.
Like, this is not fun.
Yeah, this
dude. Like,
is lame.
leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, like, I had a hard time in school. Like, school fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So once you realize,
Well, public education is. Cameron, I'm sorry, but public education can be really boring.
Fuck you, Cam.
Not saying Cameron Dagnall will probably be a very successful teacher.
Oh no, Cameron. I hope my kids are taught by Cam Dak, baby.
Yeah, but there's a lot of teachers who fail in their responsibility to do justice in the public education system. However, many teachers are held back by the system itself. It's
Exactly.
another discussion entirely. But
1000%.
yeah, which we should have Cameron on for.
That would be sick.
I've been thinking about that, so let's remember that.
Write it down.
Yeah, big fan.
Here.
I got a pen. Oh, you got one. But prior to that, we were talking about, you said the memory sticks and how it just wasn't worth it, right? Because it wasn't in your interest, it wasn't in your field, right?
And I never found like,
yeah,
I guess that path because there were so many. Like, I didn't know which to choose, and that just ties back into America. Like, there's so much opportunity. Go do it all.
Yeah,
and you can't because you're so fucked.
And that's part of it too, you know, because it's like, you know, and this is like an essay or something that I want to write or like kind of explore. But this idea that like America is so like hooked on those old world values, those like World War II, Cold War values, and like even, Gold Rush and like, Manifest Destiny, right? And this idea that like if you work hard enough, you can do anything you want to, and the world is your oyster, and you have everything in front of you. You just gotta do it, you know. And those ideas like are nice because it makes people feel like they have agency in their life, right? Yeah. But it does that thing where it's like, well, it makes you feel like there's everything you can do, and in a way, it makes you feel like you have to do everything. When the sooner you decide that you're only gonna do one thing, the better off you are.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you remember it was with Robbie, Justice and Law? Did you ever take that class in high school?
No, I didn't take Robbie's class.
Okay.
I took Gov, but I didn't take.
Gov was stupid. Justice and Law. I was like, oh, my Aunt Kathy told me I was gonna be a lawyer. I'm gonna fucking take this class. I did one mock trial. I fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad. I think it was against Carter.
Really?
Yeah. They just had a better story. They gave me bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
They had the better side of things.
You know what? That's how it is sometimes.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's
the
just
justice
stacked
system's
against you, bro. Yeah.
Fucked, baby.
Yeah. Big facts.
No, I am glad you brought up the whole World War II kind of values and stuff like that, is because I really wanted to talk about men's roles.
Okay, yeah,
You know, I really do like that topic because, it's kind of hard to find your true self.
It's tough now, yeah.
Because what is Peterson.
Yeah. So I don't know how many. I think I've talked to Cam about this. Cam's gonna be bragging later about, oh, I've been mentioned in all 3 episodes of Wander.
Bring me on, 10,000 a feature.
Yeah,
we run the show, baby.
But I've had this conversation with him prior before, kind of mentioning this guy, and he's not, by no means is he unknown. He is actually well known around the world. He's done tons of events. He's spoken at Cambridge, Oxford, Harvard. Yeah, I think he's actually a professor from Canada, and he's got a whole crazy story too about like, his personal beliefs and stuff like that. But
for sure. Yeah,
his whole thing is like he takes on and owns like really unpopular viewpoints, right?
Yeah.
Because nowadays, like the idea of toxic masculinity and stuff is really difficult to deal with because it makes it when you take on a male, a pro. I don't know how to say it. When you take on an attitude that favors men, not in the sense that it belittles women, but in the way that men shouldn't be reduced because women have also been reduced in the past, right? So he takes on this attitude that essentially he believes in today's time, men are becoming, are being deprived of their needs by a system that is beginning to favor women because of past treatment, right?
Yep.
And he explains this in the sense of like, men have lost that traditional role, and so now we are left scrambling trying to figure out, well, what is our role as a man if we're not meant to be caretakers like we used to be or something, you know what I mean?
The whole thing with that, like, your role is whatever your role is.
Yeah.
Just, it's simple as that, and that's the whole thing of your true self.
Yeah.
It really is. But, like, men don't get enough credit. They don't. Like, being a woman is fucking hard. It is. Yeah. But, like, so is being a man.
Right, well, that's the thing, though, because the way it's been framed, giving men credit and congratulating men and awarding men or like recognizing men for their achievements and even recognizing men's struggles can be misconstrued in terms of toxic masculinity. It can be misconstrued in, well, you're just favoring men over women still, right?
And it goes to the whole fact of, it's kind of like how women were treated back in the day, that now is the time is to where women are now getting back at men.
Right. It's kind of the other side of the coin of toxic feminism, right? Because proper feminism is equity, right? It's men and women live on equal standard, equal opportunities, regardless of gender, right? That's the idea. It's men and women should have the same rights, the same treatments, the same everything, regardless of their gender. Where toxic feminism goes further and says, no, women are better than men, right? And women should be treated with favor over men because of those past atrocities. I'm not properly phrasing it because I don't know 100%.
Exactly.
But my understanding and how I'm aware of it is this idea that toxic feminism takes it to the point where men should essentially pay for that, right? And his side of the coin is the fact that men are paying for it. And not deliberately.
Yeah.
Right. This is not to say men are victims at this point, because I think yes, in this world there's still a standard of men having more opportunity and power in society than women. But his whole thing is like men, as a result of women, and particularly toxic moves made by pro-feminist voices, I guess. Is resulting in this loss of identity and agency in men. Right?
Yeah.
Which is why he makes a lot of claims about, which is why so many men are addicted to porn, and why so many men are addicted to video games and these things, because it's related to a lack of agency and a lack of identity.
That shit sucks. Because...
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's exactly right. Like, if you can't see that, like, you're blind.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't want to put it like
it's a hard pill to swallow, because it sounds like you're being
an asshole.
Yeah, you're being an asshole. You're being,
but like, that's being divided. Like, as America, it's the most divided it's ever been is right now. There's the whole gender roles. there's the whole, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that. Republicans, Democrats.
I mean, even poverty.
The poverty, rich.
Thing,
Dude, we are so divided right now.
Right.
And that's not good. It throws everything off.
I agree.
And I think that, if everybody, this goes back to, open-mindedness. As in, if you could just, look at things from other people's kind of views.
Yeah.
And just kind of come together as one.
Yeah, having, an unattached view. That's not to say you should detach from your own views, but it's having the capacity
having an understanding.
To look at it, yeah.
And that's, man, and I hate that. And that's, one of the things, to do, to find your true self is looking at things from different viewpoints because you're obtaining, information at that point.
You're learning about yourself by learning about other people's viewpoints.
Exactly.
Either learning about the things you like or don't like, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. And I do really like, I love it. I don't get why people can't just take something into consideration, just kind of look at it.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
They are so set in their views, fuck you.
Yeah, considering somebody's viewpoint is not the same as sharing their view, That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, right? And it's, right now I think people are listening to talk back. They're not listening to actually listen.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, and true listening, true active listening is not common, right? The idea that, somebody is listening purely for the sake of listening before formulating their own thoughts is uncommon. Even in our conversation right now, it's difficult to actually sit here and listen before thinking of something to say. Partly because, what we're trying to do is maintain conversation, but also because, we're creative people. So it's humans are creative, right? In the sense that, as we're talking, we want to collaborate and add to the conversation. So it's hard to just listen and turn that off before doing it,
But, it does kind of... It helps because we do kind of share the same viewpoints, I guess.
Right, being similar to the person you're talking about.
Not even being the same viewpoints, but having that open mind for each other. So you can listen and think of a thought because you're constantly thinking about what the person's saying, but you're also formulating your own thought around what they're saying.
Right.
So I think would you call that active listening, I guess? Or
active. I mean, I guess it depends. Active listening can either be just active listening in a conversation and just being part of it is presence in a conversation, not being in your head. It's being in the conversation. But also if you talk about it in terms of therapy and stuff like that, active listening to somebody who's in grief is listening to them, understanding what they're saying and what they're feeling before trying to just make them feel better,
For sure. But, so now that we've got kind of into it, I want to ask you, after all of our kind of conversation up until this point, what do you kind of think true self is?
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I think about true self, I definitely just think about, the person I want to be and where I want that person to be, right?
Okay.
So, I would say, for the most part, as of right now, I'm living in a fashion that is reflective of my true self, right? I don't think I'm living entirely as my true self because I think my true self lies a little bit further down the line, right? I always joke that I think I'll be at my peak when I'm 45, because I think my true self will be when I'm in my career, when I'm done with school, when I'm done with preparing and gathering the tools. I think I'll finally be in a position where it's I can live the way I want to live and the person I want to be. You know, because right now, I'm doing school and I love school. I truly do like being in school. I like learning. I like interacting and discussing with people.
And it's something that you enjoy doing, so that helps.
Yeah. The topic is interesting to me. But that said, I don't want my life to be dictated by work relating to school all the time, right? And so just the fact that I'm not living my life necessarily the way I want to live it, right? My life is in a way dictated by the responsibilities I have. And I think at the heart, that's what it is. I don't want my life to be dictated by my responsibilities. Rather, I want to be the one who's choosing which responsibilities I really want to have at the moment. You know what I mean?
So you're thinking of true self as somebody you want to be.
Yeah, I think about it more in terms of identity and lifestyle, for sure.
Okay.
And spirituality probably fits in there somewhere, but not as prominently, right?
For sure. No.
Because I think, honestly, as a person I think I'm living my spiritual true self, right? I'm pretty comfortable with the person I am. I'm pretty comfortable with the beliefs I have and the way I look at the world.
So you have everything connected on the spiritual path of things.
As of right now, yeah. Exactly. I think that can be disrupted.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. But like you said, like as an identity, you can't have that true self without kind of like the physical.
Right, yeah. Like like if you want to think about like Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Okay. Where there's a spirit realm and then there's like the physical realm, right? Like maybe I've like got my avatar state under I've got it put together and I can access the spirit realm, but I'm just not where I need to be physically to get to the final goal. You know what I mean?
No, that's a really good way to put
it. That's like using a cartoon to talk about it, but like...
but it's a good way to put it, though.
Right.
You know, like, I think, of course, like, my true self will be, like, once I'm, like, in an office, I have, like, a decked out fucking setup, I'm doing 4 different projects at one time, like, and I think that's, because right now, I'm in my... fucking avatar state, and I just gotta get to the other side.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure a lot of people are like that, where they're like, I'm pretty comfortable with the person I am. I just don't have the means to be the person that I want to be. But you have to understand that's differentiated on a spiritual and physical way, right?
No,
I'm comfortable who I am right now internally, but like maybe externally regarding to status. And achievement, right? I'm not the person I want to be.
You see, and that ties into what we talked about a little bit last week is patience.
For sure, yeah.
To really, achieve that goal, you have to be one with yourself and learn that patience aspect. Because you're not if you're so worried about getting there super quick, it's gonna throw everything off.
Yeah, you gotta just like stay the course.
Exactly, the path that whatever God, universe, what have you gives you, that's the one you're taking. So you can't worry about the future like that.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that.
And that's just I preach it, and I'm gonna preach it every fucking episode. Living in the present, man.
True.
That's the whole thing.
Honestly, I think that the portion that we talked about with patience, honestly, is probably one of the best things we've talked about so far.
I really do
the idea of just like, and then like I said, I want to make it well known because like I didn't create that idea. That came from a book, right? Like I said, Atomic Habits, and the idea that like you have to have patience and let those things you're doing build before it breaks to the surface.
Exactly, and
that's all it is. And that's it. Like, yeah, you may have found yourself spiritually. Now you just have to ride with that and continue on the path until all of your effort finally surfaces and makes it through to the side you want to be on.
And that really does tie in with true self because you can't have patience without it.
No, yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah. You definitely really can't be patient. You can't be with yourself unless you like the person you are, right? You can't just be comfortable and be like, you know what, I'm okay where I am now, or like, I can. Fuck! I just had the word. I can.
You're not content, but like you're there.
Right, yeah, like I can deal with this because at least I'm comfortable with who I am, right? Like.
And no, I really do. I'm really glad we talked about patience because it brings in it ties into fucking everything.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, what else you got on there?
I'm just like reviewing, looking at what we talked about. Yeah, by the way, Christian was kind of self-conscious about this, but you can't even see him, but I did some notes. Fuck it, whatever, I'm going to be that dude. Yeah, I did notes, okay? It's called a mind web? No. Mind map, right? It's just a thought web, whatever. So Christian texted me, he said he wants to talk about true self, right? And I said, okay, well, what do I think about when I think of true self? And I did a bunch of bubbles and interconnected them to make a web. And so yeah, I'm just looking at like the things we've talked about. We pretty much hit so much of it.
Yeah, because we dive deep, baby.
No, yeah, we totally go into it. Something I actually want to go back to because we talked about patience, but going back to, like I said, living your truth. I don't think I actually said that. But we're talking about true self. Yeah. But I wanted to mention how lately something I've been thinking about is this idea of living your truth, which to me is really just like it's very heavily related to true self, right? It's just the way that I've thought about it as opposed to the way that Christian formulated it, right? And it's living according to your values.
Yes.
And
yes.
And but also importantly, this is what I wanted to tie to, was letting go of negative aspects of your life, right? So like, firstly, living according to your values, right? Like recognizing and again found through reflection or through self-discovery, or I actually wrote through experiences and through the society you're part of, because a lot of our values sociologically come from our communities, right? But also we determine the values that we believe and follow, which may not agree with our cultural or our community values, right?
Yeah.
Those are our independent values that we as an individual hold that may not agree with that. So like we formulate values and beliefs and stuff from personal experience and from our communities we come from, because we share values because we come from the same community.
Yeah.
But we also hold our own values because we've experienced different lives. That's exactly what it is, right?
That's exactly what it is.
So living your truth is living in accordance with those things. But like I said, more importantly, I think something I've been thinking about a lot is letting go of the negative parts of your life is also a heavy aspect of living your truth.
So what would be an example of a negative part of somebody's life?
For me, it's basically breaks into toxic habits and toxic people.
Okay.
Right? So like if you want to live your truth but you're surrounded by people that you either don't like but you continue to hang out with, or you want to live your truth but you're held back by toxic people in your life, right?
Yeah, and
you
so
have to let go of those or find an escape.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what would be an example of toxic behavior from one of your friends? So people can know to watch out for this.
Oh yeah, I mean like toxic behavior. I mean like even within our friend group, we've all done really toxic things like when we were younger that we didn't think about, right? But like a big one is like, like if you have friends or family who like really don't support the things you want to do, or like who make you feel like the things you want to do aren't valuable, right? That's another toxic traits of people.
Yeah, no, for sure. Or I think another good one is someone or friends or people that are part of your life that are like not as motivated as you.
That's all. Yes, also
just
very true. Because sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, because if someone's always around you like fuck, like I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Yeah, this shit's boring.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude. Like, all right. Like you're bringing me down with you. Like that. That's bad energy, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are the people you hang out with. Just as much as like what we've talked about is like you are your thoughts, right? You are the person you want to be, right? Yeah. That's just as valuable, but a huge portion of it, like you said, is the people you surround yourself with.
Oh, no.
And if you're surrounding yourself with people who have an attitude that is contradictory to the attitude you want to have with something, avoid those people, right?
Yeah, because they're not putting you on the right path.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, part of that relates to the fact that like we are attracted to people who are in our field of study or in our expertise, right? So like as you become deeper in graphic design, you're gonna become closer friends with people who do graphic design.
Right.
Because you share those values with that group, right?
Exactly.
But also because you share an attitude that is beneficial to being a professional in that field.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is exciting. That's a great thing about being people, about being a part of communities and being able to interact and learn from each other, is the fact that you can grow as groups, but it's learning what people are not going to help you and being okay with the fact that you just let them go. It's the same thing as being okay with the fact that not everybody's going to like you.
Yeah.
It's also being okay with the fact that you don't have to maintain relationships with people who don't help you.
Right. Or like people that have been, there for you, or not there for you, but have been there, forever.
Right.
Sometimes
you gotta let them go.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I do really like that. It is, and the whole thing behind, disassociating with those kind of people is that you get excited. Like I just said, fuck, I'm so excited to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another kind of, not a step, but like not even a goal, but like that's
shit's motivation.
Yeah, that's motivation.
Yeah, for sure. To like have excitement to interact with people like that.
And it is exciting.
It is exciting. It's super exciting. I mean, like I said, for me, I work with linguistics and literature and shit a lot of people find boring, but when I get into a good conversation with somebody who's also a nerd for that shit, it's like it's incredible because you're like you can
it's second nature.
Yeah, you can just express these interests. You can maybe not be able to express with other people. Right, like we're great friends.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'd sit here and have a great conversation about fucking, Ernest Hemingway.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, but it's like that doesn't belittle the fact that we're friends, But it's just for the proof of the fact that you can find a lot of really good creative and professional energy in another group of people who promote that goal.
Yeah. Another thing, well, like you would say, like, we're great friends, but we couldn't have a conversation about, you know, that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, every time we talk, like, I learn something new. Like, it's,
and the same for you. Yeah,
exactly.
We have things to teach each other, which
exactly.
again is learning from other perspectives.
Exactly. And I think that, you know, finding people, because, I mean, this is the most we've hung out since.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Wow.
There were times where we'd have weeks of periods between seeing each other and hanging out.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, it's been awful after high school.
Yeah, which is normal, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
no, for sure, because everybody does kind of branch off to their own thing. But, you know, it's not even finding the people, you know, in your field of study. It's, you know, finding people that, you know, build you up.
For sure, yeah, exactly. And that's something actually I kind of thought about earlier. Again, with this idea of, like, reducing negative people and toxic people and toxic habits in your life, right? Taking those things away. Because toxic habits can also relate to, like, maybe you're a terrible procrastinator, right? Reducing that toxic habit, right, is going to help you be more productive, right? Exactly. And be better and grow and become better, right? But kind of related to, like, what you said about how it's about finding people who build you up just as much as it is about putting away people who don't build, who bring you down. Something lately that I've really kind of come to advocate for is this idea of being selfish.
Fuck yeah.
Be selfish.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Like, stop trying to be there for everybody all the time. Because, like, from my personal experience when I was younger, and, like, even just a year or two ago, I tried so hard to, like, make everybody happy. And I still have moments where, like, I want to be a mediator, and I want things to be harmonized and everything. But be selfish. You know, stop trying to do everything for everybody. Stop trying to make people like you because, you know, you want to be liked by everybody. No. Be selfish with your time. Be selfish with your energy. Be selfish with, you know, where you want to be and what you want to do, right? Because time and energy are precious. You have only so much in a certain day, right? And if you don't guard that with your life, you're not going to grow as an individual, right?
Right. And that is another step to finding your true self. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. 100%. Be selfish.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Be selfish without being a dick, though. Yeah. Right? I mean, again, another great example, I think, is our friend group, right? We're not afraid to be like, hey, guys, I'm not going to hang out today. I'm going to hang out at home. Yeah. Right? That's not being a dick, but it's being selfish in the sense, like, I don't have the energy or I don't want to devote the energy to a social outing because I have more important things that I want to do.
You see, and that is also another point of the toxic people, like...
Right. And people who understand that.
Yeah, people who understand it because they look at everything from different perspectives. Okay, like, if I was in his boat, like, if I, like, worked all day, you know, and I don't want to go out, you know? So, like, it's finding, you know, looking at different things from people's... perspective, you know, and that is a big thing with disassociating with negative people is, you know, oh, why aren't you hanging out? Like, why haven't we talked since then?
For sure. Like, dude, like, why haven't you messaged me? Like, where have you been? And it's like, why are you avoiding me? And it's like, no, like, I'm not avoiding you. I'm using my time deliberately.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with, like, my phone, too. Like, people will come up and, like, look at my phone and be like, dude, why do you have 105 missed, like, text messages? Why don't you text people back? Dude. Like... I will choose to text you back if I have the energy to text you back.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, I'm sorry.
It sounds douchey, but it's not.
It's not, dude. If I want to text you back, I'll fucking text you back. Yeah. You know?
But at this point, who's got time to send 105 emails or messages or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, if I'm already so busy within my day, like, if I look at your text message and, like, I can't respond right away, dude, and I don't respond to you, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. Yeah, totally. That's like... all the time I fantasize. This is weird. Like, it sounds weird to say fantasize, but I want to do like a personal challenge where I don't take my phone anywhere for a whole week. Where I just leave my phone at home for a week and just don't use it. The problem is, like, because of, like, the way modern people function is, like, they always expect you to respond and they freak out if you don't respond, especially if it's like your family or something. Yeah. But I would love to experience a week without my cell phone on me.
Should we try it?
I would love to. That'd be worth experimenting with.
Do you want to, like, start it today? And then show up next week?
Let's discuss this and when we're more prepared because I got shit to do. Yeah. But, like, when we're in a position to legitimately put effort and, like, be comfortable with it, because that's the thing. Like, I don't want to put my phone away and then be freaking out because I'm expecting a text from like a doctor and like 7 emails from professors about grades or something. You know.
Okay. Well, we could also do something like, if like we go out, we leave it at home, and like if we need to check it, like we'll just check it at like a certain time.
Right. Well, for me, I guess honestly, the biggest thing for me is like not taking it to work. Right.
Well, yeah.
Partly because I think it'd be interesting to see how much my productivity goes up. But partly because I just want to see what a week feels like of literally having 8 hours a day disconnected from everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it would be very interesting to do like a full, hey, we did a week without phones. This is what happened. You know, it's clickbait, bro. But
this guy's smart as fuck.
But yeah, like I don't know where I was going with it. But yeah, energy, having a group who understands when you don't want to spend more time or energy doing things because you want to spend it on something else.
Yeah.
Which don't misunderstand. Like if one of our buddies is like, sorry guys, you know, I got to do this or I want to do this, we're still gonna give you a shit.
Oh, duh.
But like it's not like, you know,
we get it.
They understand. You have that group that understands. It's like, yeah, because we do too. Like everybody's got shit to do. You know.
So we're
getting we're about a minute over, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but before we go over, yeah, I don't know.
Let's do this, streamers. What's up, Chief? I don't know who you are, bro.
Yeah, what's up, man? No, so before we go into it, I really want to talk about, because you said you rewatched the podcast.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't tell me what you thought. You said we got to save it. So
I figured we just talk about it over.
This would be the last topic.
Yeah, this is a good closing topic, just some casual chat. It's the internet. Nobody knows who anyone is. Yeah, let's do this, streamers, dude. Follow us, bro. You'll catch us every Friday.
I like this guy. Every Friday, 8 p.m. Central, baby.
He's chilling. We got good things to say. Unfortunately, you caught us like right at the end of what we're talking about.
Watch the VOD.
Watch the VOD. All
right, continue.
But yeah, so you had mentioned...
Put my feet up here.
Shit, I don't even remember if it was during a podcast or if it was after one of our streams. But you talked about how you had spent some time watching our VODs.
Yeah.
He said he'll watch it 8 speed. But you said you had watched the replay to just kind of review and see what we talked about. Maybe take notes on things to talk about in more depth and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's a fantastic idea. And actually, part of I'll split this in 2 sections because first of all, I did it and. That's why, we changed our situation here a little bit. We're a little closer to the mic because I felt like I was too quiet in the past VODs, right? And maybe that changed. We'll see after this one if it changed at all, or if I'm still too far away. But yeah, and then also, another reason, right? I wore a hat today because I was watching that first VOD, dude. And if there were subplots connected to our podcasts, right? That first, or like a you know, like a character arc, you know what I mean?
2 hour one?
Yeah, there's a character arc that I had in that podcast, bro. Seriously, it was like the evolution of my hair. Dude, I watched that and my hair went from this normal hair to seriously, it was like out here like Einstein, bro, because I just kept messing with it and shit. And
Galaxy brain.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, I need to wear a hat because I keep messing with my hair too much. But part of why I like that you mentioned to me to do that was because in one of the classes I'm taking right now, is it's a writing center theory class, right? But a thing they mention about being a tutor to people is when you're done teaching and tutoring is to review and to take notes about your session, right? Because it allows you to learn from your experience and to you know, withhold what you learned in that experience, right?
I'm sorry, I got my feet up, but
No, you're chilling, dude.
I'm chilling.
But yeah, so I like that you told me, dude, you really should watch our VODs and then learn from it, you know, and then take notes because it'll help us to be better further on. Yeah. Which is so true.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to get better at something, review what went right and what wrong in the previous version of it and keep moving forward. Right? Growth, I guess, you know.
We're just galaxy brains.
Yeah. But yeah. So I'll definitely be doing that, you know, from now on. And I think as we progress and learn how to edit and put things on YouTube or whatever, you know what I mean, we'll obviously have to rewatch things, you know what I mean, but there's definitely value in reviewing your practice, you know, for sure.
Okay, yeah, all right, well,
but yeah, I liked it. Yeah, again, thanks guys. This was episode 4. Is this the 4th time we've done this together? Because I guess here's the thing, do you consider Will to be episode 1 or 0? Like
That's
pilot cast.
episode 0, because
Okay,
I
that's
think
episode
since
0.
I brought you full time, I think that's when.
Okay, so this is the 3rd time I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is episode 3 of Wander.
Yes.
I think we had a great conversation today, honestly.
No, we did. Like I said before, I think this one was gonna go really well.
Yeah,
and I think it really did.
It was fantastic. It was a good time.
Yeah. So no. Yeah. Every Friday night. Did you just see it?
Cam, bro.
Oh, Cam, we was here the whole fucking time.
Yeah, Cam really did just watch a whole ass hour of us talking to each other. That's real shit.
Dude, Cam's the homie. We're for sure. Cam, you want to be on next week? We'll get another chair.
Yeah, yeah, we'll make it work. But yeah, eventually you'll be able to catch this stuff on YouTube. I think. Hopefully we can figure a way to put it on Spotify if we want to like branch out there or some crazy shit.
Yeah. We could. Yeah. I really want to get separate mics.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea too. Other things, look out for other things. I think we're gonna. We'll be trying to get a Twitter going and stuff like that to get better updates and stuff. So look out for those things.
I'm a fucking graphic designer. I don't know why. I need to just fucking sit down and do it.
Yeah, we just need to get our basically a brand written out, but like.
And that's what I'm fucking going to school for. Building brands.
Yeah. So look out for those kind of things, guys. Again, thanks so much for coming out. This is honestly a great time. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah, bro.
Fuck yeah.
All right, catch y'all later.
Yeah, peace.